Okay, this is it.
Dragon lady. Dey who I wan comot by dis make I put dragon.
How far?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be active.
Okay. All right.
You don't set off finish, right?
Yeah, I'm done switching up. I want to confirm.
Okay, no worry, no worry.
Okay. Yeah, I've confirmed it. All right. I'm done switching up. All right. So let's go back to the chat. So I said
Na only Naija no like pet o.
what I was saying was how can we make sure that we look at what will make us lose more, focus on what will make us win. Now, looking at the chart, I also said whenever we are seeing this kind of chart, whenever we are seeing this kind of chart, right?
Mm.
This is a consolidating market. That means we are buying from resistance. That's what we should focus on, right? Buying from support, selling from resistance, and small moves. Do you understand?
Mm.
I've said three things, right? I've said three major things. The first thing I said was we should focus on what will make us lose, right? And which I'm going to explain practically. Number two, I said whenever we see a consolidation market, or we should look at the structure of the market. If it's consolidating, we buy from support, sell from resistance. If it's trending, the same thing. We buy from support, sell from resistance. No matter what the market is doing, we buy from support, we sell from resistance. The third thing I said is we focus on small moves, right? We catch small moves.
Who I wan comot?
Or you can catch big moves if you want to risk it.
Who I wan comot?
It's just based on weighing your options, right? Or you can secure your profits when you see your small moves, then you target big moves because of you are
Money
seeing
come
a
up, come up,
potential
money.
movement,
Money come up.
right?
Mm.
Yeah. So now let's head into it right now on this chart. Let's say, for example, right, this is a consolidating market right here. As the market is going up, down, up, down. Let me show you with this part. This market is going up, down, up, down, up, down. What are we
Na
expecting next?
Jumasu.
Up, right?
Na Jumasu
Yeah.
no be dis o.
Down. So this is how we want to be
I no fit
trading
play am.
consolidating market. Okay, before I move forward, do you have any question? Maybe any precise questions you want to ask?
You say dey play.
No, bro. I don't have any question yet.
All right. So let's say we're looking at up, down, up, down, something like this, right? Now see this is how the market has
Mm.
been moving, coming down, coming up, down, up, down. This is a consolidation. So when we see, whenever we see this consolidating
Which
market,
that lady?
remember we are taking our trade from 15 minutes time frame. Do you understand?
Mm.
We're taking our trade, we're taking our trade from 15 minutes time frame, right? So the first thing we have to do is to come here, mark out these points that we are looking at making the trade. We can use our eyes to mark it out, or we can just mark it out with our structure, which is support and resistance block. This is it.
Okay, like you mark it out at the highest high. Right?
Yeah, you mark it out at the major support or major resistance from the 24 hours time frame. If you look at 24
I
hours
have a
time frame,
question.
okay, yeah, you can ask.
Okay, like like this particular resistance that you drew,
Yeah.
Bonnie,
why
see
didn't
my
you
pen.
do the highest, like this way the highest is?
Bonnie, see.
Okay, you mean this point here?
Yes.
And you have
All
TP
right.
too.
So there are two ways.
That point,
Yes,
yes.
there are two ways I can draw this support zone, this resistance zone. Sorry, resistance zone. There are two ways I can draw it. I can draw it from here like this, for explanation's sake, and I'll stretch it here like this to make sure it meets all these parts. Can you see this?
Mm,
I'll
mm,
take this one out.
Who is
Now
that
you can
one?
see at this point it's meeting this part, it's meeting this part,
Who is
it's
that
meeting
one?
this part. Can you see?
yeah.
So I can draw it like this, or I can just focus on this recent resistance. This one here is the most recent two resistance, right? That is why I drew that smaller one to focus on this most recent. If I want to draw it across all of them, I can
Why?
increase, I can stretch my block because it's a zone. You
You are a
understand?
lady, you are the only lady in here.
It's a zone. So that's why we're using the rectangle tool to stretch out the block to say, okay, these are the zones that have affected it in the past. You understand? Did I answer your question?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, so but what I did before you asked this question was I was focusing on these two recent highs. These are the two recent resistance points that it gave, right? I will focus on the recent one, but I can stretch it to the past and increase my block, right? To mark that zones out. So those are the two things I can do. So why for the support zone, the same thing. I can stretch it out. I can mark this recent part like this and say this is my support zone.
Joy is at home, cover
Or I
camera.
can stretch it out to the past like this and say, okay, these are all the points of my support zone. Do you understand? So those are the two things that I can do on this trick. Any questions?
Okay. Why didn't you draw it at
You
the
don't see half
lowest
plate.
low?
As half plate, take half plate.
Why didn't I draw it at the
Or lowest. The lowest. Where
this lowest,
price
this point?
couldn't,
I did this
yes,
point.
where price couldn't,
All right.
Wow.
So
yes.
why I didn't draw it from this point is because if I look at this chart properly, right, I'm seeing a level that it has repeated more than this one. If I stretch it like this, can you see? You can see that it's repeated this level more. Let me stretch it to the past. You can see it's repeated this level more than this one.
Up at the end.
You understand? So it's got to this level only one time.
Your this thing, your mouse no dey move.
The mouse, okay. Is it moving now? Can you see it?
Yes, it's moving now. Repeat the explanation.
All right. So if you look at this point here, right, you can see the price got to this point only one time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it got to this
Standing on
level.
there, now
I'm
you
looking
walk
at
from us.
whenever I'm saying
Standing
support and
there.
resistance zone, it needs to
Stand,
happen
you hold on. Stand, you
more
hold
than
on.
one time.
Stand, you hold on, please. Hold
Just
on.
like the rules of support zone. I believe we've talked about the rules before, right?
I don't go that.
You understand? The price came there, it bought, is a support zone, but it is not valid. You understand? That's why I didn't draw it from there. It's not valid because it happened only once. But in this case, this one happened how many times? This happened one time here. It came here, it happened two times. It still came here, it was still happening these little times here,
Guys, double tap,
which
oh,
is
double
like
tap,
three,
double tap.
four,
Oh.
5, 6, that's same point, 7. You understand? That level that
Guys,
is
double tap,
maintaining.
double tap, double tap.
Remember, this level is not a straight line, but you can see with your eyes that there's a level there, right? There's a particular level that even though it's going a little lower than the other one, but it's maintaining that level. You understand?
Which is,
Even though this one is going,
yeah,
can you hear me?
maybe.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Pablo, please connect with everybody.
What? I didn't hear you. Okay, all right. Okay, I guess his network.
Basically, na forward. This kind of nonsense thing with that one. I don't understand.
All right. So what I was saying is, you can see when this one came down, it even came down more than this initial one. But if you look at it with your eyes, you see that it is still maintaining that level.
Pablo, please
It's still
connect with
maintaining
everybody.
that level. Yeah, with your eyes, you can see that it's still on the same level because a zone can stretch. Yeah, it can just give some pips below, some pips above. You understand? It can just give some spaces, but it won't be very so much, right? Maybe you can see a weak rejection drop, right? But it will still maintain that zone. You'll be able to recognize it when you look at it with your eyes. So that is what we are looking at here. And you can see
Father time, thank
occurred
you for
here,
joining.
two,
Father time.
three, four. So that is what we are looking
Father time,
at
thank you
on
for
trading
joining.
with
Thank you
support
for
and
joining.
resistance
Father
on
time.
this consolidation market, right? We are looking at it based on what we are seeing
Father
on the
time, thank you
charts.
for joining.
Whatever we are seeing on the chart,
Hello.
that's where we start to make
Finally,
decisions,
you join my life
right? So
today,
let me
Father
take this one
time.
out.
Ever since I've been inviting you, you don't want to join my life.
So
Today you
now,
join. Thank God.
once we've done that,
Thank God.
um,
Thank God.
I'll give you an
I'll click
instance,
out
right,
today.
from the past. Then we'll look at this present.
Now,
I'll give
senior
you an
man is
instance,
you.
right? So looking at this chart,
Now,
this
senior
current
man
chart
is you.
here,
I beg, may I follow am.
we
May I
can
follow
do
am, abeg.
different things. Like firstly, we are drawing support and resistance, right? Secondly, we'll draw trend line.
Father guy, thank you
Thirdly,
for joining. Please,
we
let's
will
connect with
draw
each other. Let's connect. Father time, let's connect.
um, psychology levels, right? And then we can
Oh, no
apply high
problem.
and low
But
of
at
the
least
week.
thank God you came to my life today. You said the next time you
Then we can
call
apply
me,
high and low
please
of the
sleep.
week.
So I'll be waiting for you to join.
This is for using price action, right? So now, if I want to trade just support and resistance, right?
Guys,
I
let's
will
connect
just
with
use
Father
support
time.
and
Oh.
resistance
Let's
to
connect
trade
with
it.
Father
Like if
time.
the price comes here, buy. If the price comes here, sell. I don't need to look at any other thing again, right? Because I'm looking at the higher time
Connect
frame.
with Father time, guys. Please
Do you
connect
understand what
with
I'm
him.
saying? But
Everybody, which one you don't connect?
because you have missed out on this trade,
Pablo.
assuming we were to
I
enter
don't
this
talk
trade from
alpha.
here, let's say we missed out, this trade
Why
came here
far?
and wanted to enter.
Father time,
Once we
please
see this
connect back
support
to us.
zone, the price is currently on support
Connect
zone,
back. Connect. Thank you.
and we
Thank
see
you,
this
sir.
bullish
Thank you,
engulfing
sir.
candlestick, we would have entered from the
Thank you,
next
sir.
this next formation of the next candlestick. This should have been our entry right here.
Thank you,
You
sir.
understand?
So
So
I
let me
hope you
just
are
do this
good,
before I
sir. I
move
hope you
to
are
what I
good.
wanted to say.
Okay.
This should be our next
They say
entry.
we connect back now. We connect back.
You
No love
understand?
for us now.
Assuming we want to enter on this support zone, after we see when the price comes to support zone,
No,
we will
na
not
my
enter
father.
until
No
we see a
nobody
bullish
father.
engulfing
Na my
candlestick,
father.
right?
No nobody father
If you
my
don't see bullish
bro.
engulfing candlestick here, we can go to lower
Na my
time frame,
father. Na my
like
father. No
4 hours,
nobody
1 hour,
father.
look at bullish engulfing of 15 minutes, right? Whenever we see
Na
bullish
my
engulfing, we enter on
father.
the
No
formation of
nobody
the next
father.
candlestick, right here. Our stop loss will be below the lowest point it got to, where the bullish engulfing
Bro,
candlestick
when
formed,
I no better for
right?
crypto, you go
But
give us
we
love
didn't
from
we
your
didn't
hand.
catch this trade, so let me
If
take
you
this one
want
out.
gift us, if you want gift us, na from
Do you
your
have a
hand. I
question?
beg anybody ask am for you.
All right. So now, since you have missed out on this trade from this place, this support zone, right? How do we catch other trades, right? That is where support and resistance comes in, right? That is where nature
You
of the
are from
chart comes in.
Nigeria.
Sorry, that's where trend line psychology level comes in. That's where nature of chart comes in. So right now, to catch
Yes.
this trade again, that is when I'll do a little backtest, right? Using trend line, support and
Who dey talk?
resistance, and we'll do it around here.
Who you want hear the
So this is it. Let's do it around. Let's say, for example, we missed out on this trade. Are you following? Let's say, for example, we missed out on this trade right here, right? Want to catch the next trade, right? So the trade is already up here. You understand? So what we have to do in
We
this
are all
point
from Nigeria, Father time.
is to wait for it to give us a trend line. We can go to the lower time frame to get to catch that. We can look at it if, let's say, the trade was currently here.
When you dey tell you
Okay, let me use a horizontal
when you
tool.
dey tell you go pray, wetin dey tell you? You said you can't come up right now. Okay, no problem. Daddy, show. Daddy, come
Let's say
now.
a
Daddy,
trade was
come.
here,
Show up. Show up. Come up.
was around this point, right? You can impute a trend line from here.
This big man.
We'll still go to
This
the
young
live
man.
track and do it,
Daddy, show up now. Come up. Come up.
right? Now, when I say the first thing I said
Why
before we started,
now?
I
Listen
said
to
we should be looking at
Nigeria.
what will make us lose, right?
Listen to us.
Now, what will make us lose? This is where it also comes in, right?
Why that no
What will
one
make
come
us
against
lose?
Nigerians?
We are looking at simple things. If the price doesn't come to a particular point or doesn't give
Oh,
us a
daddy, the
particular
fuel is
structure,
low.
if the price doesn't give us a particular structure, like a particular move, we are not making any trades, right? Like for example, I told you we are looking at trend line. If the price doesn't come to
Bani,
trend
Mr.
line,
Bani, thank you for
we are
joining.
not trading.
Thank you for joining my live
Do you
stream.
understand?
Thank you. Mr.
Because we
Bani,
have
please
missed
follow
out
everybody in the
on this
box.
major support. I'm looking using this one as an
Mr.
example.
Bani, please follow
Because we
everybody in
have
the
missed
box.
out on this major support move that happened here, or the one that happened here, right? Because we have missed out and the price has already gone ahead. So now we want to catch this trade again, right? So we want the trade to come to trend line before we catch the trade. Do you understand? It's
Mr.
already
Bani,
giving us like an upward movement. Do you understand? We can draw two trend lines this way.
because of my hair, it's very cold.
One like that. I think we can draw another one like
Mr.
this
Bani,
for the downtrend, right? And draw a trend line like this.
daddy, come up now. Eh?
And draw down like this. Are you following? All right, all right. So we can draw down like this. So remember the price is currently at this point. At this point, let me change the color of the trend line to pink. Okay, all right. Let me make it black. All right, this is better. All right, this is black, right? Now, this is the uptrend trend line. This is the downtrend trend line. Remember, the price was here. Now, I want to make sure I use irrespective of the fact that I'm using support and resistance as well as psychology level, right?
Daddy
I
don't
want to
come out
make
to.
sure that I'm using the trend line, right? I want to make sure I'm using the trend line because even if I support and resistance, so far I've realized even if I use just support and resistance, right? But if it's a consolidating market, I can risk support and
Guys,
resistance.
double
But
tap,
if the
guys,
market
double
has gone
tap.
ahead of me, right, I won't be able to risk support and
Guys,
resistance
double tap for your screen.
because
Double tap.
I might have more losing trade than winning trades, right? That is where my concept for focus on those things that will make you lose more, right? Those things that will think, okay, if I do this, I think I'm going to lose more than win. Do you understand? Yes. So from my research so far,
Eh?
I realized that if I focus on just support and resistance when the market is
I
already
think
moving, maybe in
I
a
think
trending manner, right? If I focus on just support and resistance, I will have more likely losing trades, right? But if I focus on trend line
you go pay
together
today now.
with support or resistance, right,
This one go teach you go
it
sat
will help
down
me
like
to
carry.
minimize those losing trades and give me more chances of winning trade. That doesn't mean I won't
My
lose, right?
bro.
I'll still lose, but I'll be able to minimize my losses and have more winnings.
If you DM that guy, you no worry.
So whenever I don't see a trend line together with support and resistance, or a trend line together with psychology level, or a trend line together with high and low of the week, I don't trade. Do you understand? So let's use that same concept here. Now I have a trend line here, right? You can see what the market did. Now I know I've drawn an uptrend trend line as well as a downtrend trend line. You can see what the market did there. It came up to this trend line, reacting to this, and then it broke this trend line, right? I've already got to this uptrend trend line, and the market is up here, coming down back here. I already know that I'm having a touch of trend line here, which it is a possibility for me to buy, right? It is the market is on trend
There's a
line, the
price
market
moving
is
and
still
see you will
on the
see
support
from
zone
now
axis, right? So
patience,
what I do
patience.
from here, let's say I have this
Guys,
trade
let's
currently
double
at this
tap so
point,
that the
right?
physical was good with better
At this
people.
point,
Let's
that
double
means the
tap.
market has not come down to the trend line anymore,
Let's double tap,
right?
guys.
Let's
Let's
say
double
this
tap.
horizontal line here is where the market was currently at.
Guys, let's
So
double
I was
tap.
waiting
Let's
for the
double tap. So
market.
the physical
For
was
me,
good with
what I'll
better
be doing is
people.
I'll be waiting for the market to either break
When the
it
physical was good with
upwards,
better people, going to give trade.
right?
I'm going to double tap
Come
on
back
this.
to the trend line, and I'll be looking for a bullish engulfing candlestick, then I'll enter. So from this 24 hours time frame, this is where we have been, right? But I told you we'll make our entry on 15 minutes. So from 24 hours time frame, I'll go to 4 hours time frame from at this point. So
Aziz, please connect with
just remember this
everybody in the
point
box.
because when we go
Connect
to
with
the lower time
everybody.
frame, it's going to expand. So
Aziz,
this blue line
connect
is
with
going to
everybody
be
in the box.
our focus on the 4 hour time frame.
Who be that?
So let's look for that blue line.
Now your
All right,
boss.
this is the blue line right here.
No, you gift us now. Gift us now. Aziz.
All right. Now remember, this blue line is our
I'm my new
focus,
boss. Show us
and
what
you can
now.
see at this blue line,
Show us.
the
Oh yeah.
market just
I
came
know
back
for.
here
I
to
know for. I
touch
know
the
for.
trend line, right? So at that point, like I
I
said,
know for. I know
we
for.
are waiting for the to for one of the trend lines to break, right? It can either break downward or break upward. If it breaks upward, that means we are following a.
Double tap, guys. Double
Okay,
tap.
this is
Double
my mouse.
tap.
Can I see it?
He
All
never
right.
connect to. No
So
mind. He
once the
never
market comes,
connect.
it can either break this
He
trend line
never.
downwards
He
or
never
break it
connect to.
upwards, right? So if it breaks it downwards, right, we are waiting for it to come back here, then we sell. Do you understand? If it breaks it upwards, just like this one, we are waiting for it to come back here, then we buy. Do you understand? Remember, in this case now, we already have what? Psychology level, right? We have what? Trend line. Sorry, we don't have psychology level, but I'm going to draw it on this 4 hour time frame. Now, but we already have support zone. We also have trend line. So let me draw a psychology level, right? To add to this. So let me do that right now. Refresh. So then I'll draw psychology level that is close to this point. Let me just get the interval. Once I get the interval of the psychology level, I'm going to go. So here I'm having 40, 60, 80. So my interval is a total of 20. So 2020 is what I'm going to be doing. 2020,
Normally, if you drama, we just spell it down so that you will see there the life as we go.
2020, 2040,
As the odds.
2060,
As the odds.
2080, and so on. So this is
As well.
2020. Okay, coordinates.
No, it's not active again. It has gone offline. Don't go. When I don't use gifts, one use and choke am. Why don't you go? I want to put the
Where is
light.
it?
When woman there, everybody don occupy the box.
2020.
The
Let's go
box. No
back. I
one,
already know it's the
nobody
difference
don
of
dey here
20.
like
So let's
this.
go back there.
Both of the tap abeg share the life, share the life. Share the
So
life to
this
your
is
serious
psychology
girlfriend.
level. As you
Share the
can see,
life to
this
your serious
psychology level is
girlfriend.
actually psychology level
Share the life to your
I'll be
serious
drawing.
girlfriend.
You understand? But let me just draw one more.
Share
That
the
is
life to your
20,
serious
that's
girlfriend.
2000.
Share the life, share the life. Share the life to your serious girlfriend when they come.
All right. Can you see this? So why I said this psychology level is the one I'm to be drawing is because it is very close to my price, my
Bros,
current price, and it's also close to the what? It's also close to the trend line. Do you understand?
share the life to
It's
your
also close
serious
to the trend
girlfriend
line.
o.
So whenever I
If you come
see
find true love for here, who knows?
this price come down to this trend line, it is also having a psychology
Who
level
knows? Who
there.
knows?
Do you understand? To give me
Who knows?
extra confidence that okay, whenever the price comes here to this trend line, and also there's a psychology level there, which is 2020, right? 2020, it gives me this confidence that okay, the price is not only coming to my trend line, which I already prioritize. That
Don't say I
after
lie.
losing my
Don't say I
first move, like I told you on the daily time frame, I want to catch it in between the what? I want to catch the
I
trade
don't, you
in
want
between
I
the
hear you
move,
want
right?
no, you go pay money
The
before you
next
even
move,
hear
I want to
anything
just
sef.
enter the market and make my profits. So that is why, so far from my
No worry, I go mute myself, I go
research,
mute myself.
the trend line has been working, right? But the trend line won't give me that magic until I add it maybe to a psychology level or to a support zone, right? Now you can see right there, I have a support zone inside the, I withdrew from 24 hours
You
time
don
frame,
see
right?
person na wey wan teach you
Now
now,
I have a
no
trend
be the
line here,
person o,
and
na
I'm
only
also
why e
having
no
a
work o.
psychology level there, which is
Una
giving me
abi
this
keke na
confidence of
talk.
saying, okay, since I already prioritized my trend line, which is this one here, right? I'm also having a support zone and a psychology level to back it up.
What?
Do you understand?
What?
All right. So now after doing that, I can also add. Is that's enough for me, but I can also add my high and low of the week, which we already talked about, right? Let me just add it. Let me remove this one. Uh, because I know this is psychology, this is a support zone. I can remove this one just to make our chat free, right? Is that okay by you? I already know it's a support zone, right? I already know. Sometimes I might not draw it there on my own personal chart because I already know it. That okay, this is a support zone from the higher time frame. So just to make it easier for my eyes to see, right? I can add it there if you insist. It's already a support zone from our higher time frame, just like we did together before we came down to 4 hours. Do you understand? All right. So we already know this is support zone, and we already know our psychology level here, and we're waiting for the price to come down to this trend line. Also, again, before we make our entry. Now, when the price comes down to the trend line, remember we are waiting for once the price comes to the trend line, we are waiting for a bullish engulfing. If you don't see a bullish engulfing, we are not entering, right? And that bullish engulfing, you are looking for it on the lower time frame, like 15 minutes, right? If you see it, let's say the price already went ahead of us, maybe we now came and we saw it on the 1 hour, we can still trade it, right? But if we come very early, right, on the chart, when the price have not gotten to that point yet, we have to look for that bullish engulfing on the 15 minutes time frame. Sometimes I'll look for it on the 5 minutes time frame. Because why am I looking for it on those lower time frames? Because my other conferences are already met. Do you understand? Other ones that I'm looking for, like the when I mean other ones, I'm talking about the trend line, I'm talking about the psychology levels and the support zone. So now look at it. This is the 1 hour time frame. This is where we currently are on the price, right? This is it at this point here, right? So we're waiting for the price to come back to the trend line again. Then we'll make our entry. Now this is where it broke it. This is where it broke it. This is the break up here. It broke it. Then it came back here. This is supposed to be our entry right here. Remember the entry once it touches the trend line. Once it touches the trend line. And once it touches the trend line, we're looking for a bullish engulfing candlestick, right? Either on the 15 minutes, basically, that's what I would do. But if you sit on the 1 hour, you can still enter, right? But let's look at it on the 15 minutes for the sake of this class, right? After the break up here, it came back down here to the trend line. Upon the touch of this trend line, I'm looking for a bullish engulfing. Now, for this 1 hour, let's say I want to enter inside this 1 hour, right? Like I want to look for the, although my entry is on 15 minutes, which we're going to do. Let's say I'm looking for a bullish engulfing, bullish engulfing. Now, boom, this is my bullish engulfing candlestick here, right?
Make na message for normal, make na
Can you hear me?
message na message yourself on direct message now, on direct message. Yes, not on here. Not text me. Not text on TikTok here now. Send it on TikTok. On TikTok message.
All right.
That was always one.
All right. I guess the call ended.
Always honey.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen again.
Oh, yeah, go invite her. Share the live, give her, make she just join like that. Make she join, make she join. She fit find love for here, who knows? Who tell you? She go find true love for here.
Going on.
Forget that one when I dey do for backyard. She go find true love for here asap. You know that she dey go request for another place, dey leave you for here. Na so you go talk. She fit dey go another person life wey be say you no know. As you dey
Can you
like
hear
dis now,
me?
you go know. As you dey like dis now, if you dey another person life, you go know. I no understand. As you dey talk like say she no dey do TikTok at all.
What's going on?
If you dey collect your babe for here, no vex o. The guy don bug. You collect your babe na your eye go clear.
Uh, there's something going on.
Abeg no touch smoke for here o. Make I dey
Uh,
calm down. Make I dey watch una words abeg. Any bad word at all, anything you know that is bad, don see.
I hope you can hear me.
Anything you know is bad. Yes, anything you just know is bad. Okay, she don do me something.
There's something going on.
Like criminal, armed robber, all those bad words. And sharp objects too.
There's something going on.
Listen to that. Boot. If you call am omu, but no call am like that one wey you wan do that English name. You get. You fit use Yoruba call am. You fit talk am like that, but no talk am for English. Because robots na English robots dey hear. Robots no dey hear Yoruba. Based on how far. Which kind phone your babe dey use? Which kind phone your babe dey use? No be excuse be that jare. She fit go live, she just dey whine you. Wetin you dey talk? Normal TikTok. TikTok. And who dey use TikTok like? Who dey use TikTok like? Why you come dey use normal TikTok now?
All right, can you
I no
hear
dey
me?
use TikTok like o.
Okay.
I no dey use TikTok like. You dey use am bomb abi? You dey use the account bomb? Clearly, clearly. That is like that postcard. You just spoil. Oh yeah,
That's on TikTok.
you spoil. You know you cannot go
That's
inside.
on TikTok.
You still don't spoil.
No, it's like TikTok censored
Yeah.
words. No, tech censored words. Censored words on TikTok. There's some words you can't see on TikTok live. Yeah, or they'll block your account. So you're saying it's better you speak your native words instead of speaking English. Because those words can the robot on the back end of TikTok can only
No go
recognize
invite your baby.
English.
No, no collect your bill for your hand. You
So
go get
if you want
to.
to say something very vogue, you say it in your dialect
You go
or
get
in the
to.
local language, or use the slang language instead. Yes. Yeah, for to say any vogue words, like any nasty words. If you say it in English, to block your account. Yeah, but you can say you can communicate normally in
I
English, right?
bet my
But if
mouth
you want
don't
to
dey
say
pain me.
nasty words, there are some censored words.
My call don finish na
Can
for
you hear me?
duty o. I swear my call don finish. No worry, I go try recharge tomorrow. Even if na 50 coin, I go recharge.
Okay, okay. All right, I'm finding out to share my screen.
This guy dey whine
I
me
think I
o.
will join this
I
live.
swear no worry. Oya no worry, tomorrow
I
I go
will
give
join
you. Tomorrow I
this.
go give you. No, na normal ice cream I go
What's
give you.
going on?
Na just 50 coin I wan buy.
Let me reload this page again.
If you join my life na I go give you na. If you join my life, anybody wey join my life I will give am na. That one na sure thing.
Can, yeah, I can hear you. Can you see my screen now?
No yawa, no yawa, no yawa. 100.
All right. So as
Big
we were
dog, you don
saying,
dey go, you don dey sleep. Good
this is
night
the 1 hour
everybody, see you
time
guys
frame,
tomorrow. No yawa na
and
good night. Enjoy your night.
well, if the price, we are saying that if price comes to trend line, that's where we want to make our entry. Now, once the price come back to trend line, we are making our entry only when we see.
You no dey see comment.
I can hear you.
Guys,
Can you see
abeg
my
make
cursor
I pause
moving?
dis my TikTok make I go live again. Make
Can you
I
see
do
my
am so
mouse
dat the
moving?
thing go refresh.
I can hear you. Can you see the mouse moving on the screen? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Can you maybe leave, come back, just on your airplane mode, off your on your airplane mode, off it again, then you join the call again. Okay. All right. So I've stopped sharing.
Four. I no need to be five.
I'm sharing again.
Na ten.
Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? All right. Can you see my mouse moving? All right. So right now, as we were saying, the price came to the trend line, right? At this point, right? Let me use this to signify. You can see the price came to the trend line, this trend line down here. We have this down upward trend line and the downward trend line. And when the price came in, it broke this one, right? Now, when I told you that after it breaks this one upwards, we are waiting for it to come back to this trend line before we enter for a buy trade, right? Now, at this point, the price came to the trend line right here. This is the point where it came to the trend line. Now, I told you that To make it more safer for us to enter, I want the price to give us a bullish engulfing candlestick. Bullish engulfing candlestick signifies a reversal to the upside. That is why I'm waiting for a bullish engulfing candlestick. Remember, we are looking for this bullish engulfing candlestick on the 15 minutes time frame, right? This is the 1 hour time frame. Do you understand? So now at this point, we'll go to the 15 minutes time frame to look for that bullish engulfing candlestick. Let's see, is the current part. Let's go to the past. Okay, this is it. This is the point you are looking for. So on this 15 minutes time frame, now this 15 minutes time frame, we are looking for a bullish engulfing candlestick on this trend line right here. Do you understand? On this trend line. So if you look for it on 15 minutes time frame, we don't see it. We can go to 5 minutes and look out for it, right? But now on this 15 minutes time frame, let's look for bullish engulfing candlestick. So after a bullish engulfing candlestick, that is where we want to enter a trade. Do you understand what I'm saying? Although we already checked from the higher time frame down to this lower time frame to make our entry, right? To try to make our decision for entry, right? So that is actually what we are looking at before we place a trade on this Deriv, right? So now this is it. This is the break that happened here. This is where the price came back to the trend line. Now you can see at this point where the price touched this trend line, we are not seeing any bullish engulfing candlestick here. If you look at it properly, are you seeing anyone? All right. So at this point, we can either wait or go to the 5 minutes to look for it, right? We can either wait or we'll go to the 5 minutes to look for it. If we wait, right, we wait for the price to give us a bullish engulfing on that trend line. You can see the price went up. We are waiting for something very specific. Remember, we are not just entering because the price came out to the trend line. No, we already saw that our confidence is already met, which means we can enter and risk it, right? But because of we are looking for something very particular. Why are we looking for something particular? Because we are reducing anything that will make us lose. That's the first thing I said before you started, right? Prioritizing what will make you lose, right? Prioritizing those reasons that will make you lose will make you be very careful on the charts. Remember, trading is not easy, trading is hard, right? Where trading is hard is because we want to win quick, we want to quickly win without prioritizing what will make us lose. That's where trading is hard, where patience comes in. We have patience to wait for what? Those things that we want to reduce those things that will make us lose and focus on those things, those little things that will make us win. And when we don't see those things, we don't trade. You understand? But when we see them, that is where we take the risk of trading. And when we take that risk, we can actually end up losing, but we'll lose less of the time. Do you understand? All right. So now at this point, um, you can see right here the price came here, but we are not seeing any bullish engulfing candlestick right here. So that means everything we are looking for is not met yet, right? We're just looking for one thing left, bullish engulfing candlestick on the trend line. Now we'll keep on waiting, looking at it. Now, bullish engulfing candlestick must happen on the trend line, right? Keep on looking at it. Now you can see right here, the price came to trend line here and it gave us a bullish engulfing. Can you see it here? Right here. So right here, let me zoom it in. You can see it here. This bullish engulfing candlestick on trend line. Can you see it? Small red, big green. Can you see it? So yeah, what you say? It's moving. Can you see it move? I'm rolling it. I'm rolling it. All right. So if you look at here, look at the bullish engulfing candlestick we've been waiting for, right? Now, once we see this bullish engulfing candlestick, what we have to do is we'll come to the next formation of the next candlestick, the formation of the next candlestick, which is this one, and we'll enter our trade here on this next candlestick. It's going to be our entry right here. Stop loss will be slightly below the bullish engulfing, and we'll target 1 to 2 or 1 to or more. Can you see what happened here? Now remember, this move is still going to give us bigger moves, but I targeted a little. Do you understand? If I increase this chart, you will see that already I know this move. Already this move, I'm waiting for it to get to resistance if I want to swing trade. Now I'm talking like a, how will I put it? With this lecture I'm giving, I'm lecturing like a day trader, which I am. Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm giving this lecture as a day trader. All right. If I want to use lecture as a swing trader, then I know exactly what I have to say, right? Giving making my stop loss big, increasing my take profit very big as well. But as a day trader, I'm targeting very small moves and making advantage of those very small moves. That will keep me profitable longer as a day trader. Do you understand? That's what I've been doing over and over and over again. This thing I'm saying right now is what I've been doing over and over and over again. Do you understand? Although I can also do look at swing trading, but for the sake of this class, it's day trading, and for the sake of my own trading as well, is day trading. Target the small moves. The first thing I said is prioritize what will make you lose. The second thing I said is what actually forgotten the second thing I will say. I don't know if you I don't know if you're writing it down. Looking out for what? All right, okay. The second thing I said was looking out for the psychology levels, right? Looking out for what prioritizing will make you lose, those things that will make you lose. Taking those things very important. Number two is looking out for a specific setup, right? Let's say for whatever I'm doing, even if I'm looking at psychology level, I'm looking at trend line, right? Because trend line over time have proven to be working once it's combined with psychology level or support and resistance or high and low of the week. You understand? So I'm looking at my trend line combined with any of these or more or two or more of these other ones, right? That's number two. Number three, I'm targeting small moves, right? Making sure my stop loss is very tight, targeting small moves. One ratio two, one ratio three, one ratio four, one ratio five, right? Do you understand? For this kind of move, you can see I've already taken my profit, though I know it's going to give me more moves, right? So if I want to retake these moves over and over and over again on this particular chart or 50 or time frame, right? What I'll be doing from here is I'll be waiting for the price to come to trend line. Whenever it comes to trend line, I will look for bullish engulfing and I will enter. Just like at this point, I entered there, right? If I want to enter again, I wait for it to come back to trend line. Let's say around this point. This point is close to this trend line. Remember, trend line is a zone, right? It's a zone and not a line, just a line. So this one is supposed to be around my trend line. This one is also supposed to be around my trend line. This one too will be around my trend line. But let me use this one for example. Now, when the price came here, I can actually say go to the 5 minutes time frame. Now, this is when I can go to the 5 minutes time frame. If I don't see a bullish engulfing on my 15 minutes, I'll go to 5 minutes to look for bullish engulfing. Now, let me box all these parts. Let me put inside this box so that when I go to 5 minutes, I'll be able to see this box. So if I don't see bullish engulfing in 5 minutes, I won't enter trade at that point because I'm very specific. Yeah, I'm sticking on that. Yeah, I'm strictly on that. Yes, if I don't see bullish engulfing, remember before I look for the bullish engulfing, others are already met. Do you understand? Other things are already met. So those other things that have been met is already giving me confidence, but I won't take the risk of those other things until I see the bullish engulfing. Let me see. Where am I? Okay, it's
Never
at the
there,
back.
what's up? Guys, please
Let's
connect
just
with each
get
other.
the.
Never there, connect with each
I
other.
will see what the current chart, the present chart. What's going on? What's going on? Refresh.
Chivers, what's up? Chivers, please connect with people in the box. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Chivers. Please connect with everybody in the
Oh,
box. Connect
you
with
didn't get
everybody
it.
in the box. Sammy,
Here's the trend line.
Sammy,
Can't find the trend line.
if you can hear me, please connect with everybody in the box. Connect with everybody in the box. Connect with
Okay, the
everybody.
price
What's
didn't
up
get it.
now? Money,
This is where the price stops. Okay, then we can't use 5 minutes
money, what's up?
because
Please
of
connect
it
with
has a
everybody in
paid
the box.
version. The paid
Thanks for
version will be
joining.
able to give us that. So let's try 10
Connect with everybody in the
minutes.
box. As
10
you are joining, please
minutes.
guys, connect
Let's see
with
if 10
everybody.
minutes
You
is
can
going to
level
get
up
there.
if you want to level up. Let me know if you want to level up.
10 minutes didn't get there as well. Look at where 10 minutes stops on the free version. So let's just stick to 15 minutes.
If you want to level up, let me
So
know.
go
Let
to
me
the
know.
current chart, the current live chart, and try it out.
You want to level up, you have to buy coin. If you
So
want
this
to
is
level
it.
up, you have to buy coin.
So this is where we took the trade
If you want to
before, as
reach
you
your
can
level,
see,
you have to buy
but it
coin.
still went higher, right?
Bitcoin you can
So
buy.
using
Other
combining
coins
these things
you can
together, I'll be able
connect to.
to say, okay, this is what I'm looking at. This
It's
is
never
what I'm not going to
25. You
do.
know when it's 1 5. That's it.
Let's say if I want to be catching, if you ask me, oh, since I caught this one, how do I want to be catching more moves like that? How what
Guys,
would I be
connect
looking at
to
to
each other,
catch more
guys.
moves?
Connect
I'm
to
going
each
to
other.
answer that question, right? I'm going to answer that question.
Connect so everybody can connect back with you.
All right. So this is it. Focusing on small moves like
Everybody
that
connect to you. If
as
you
a
are
day
connected,
trader, right?
everybody type down
And
the
I'm
comment
focusing on some
section.
particular
So I
time that I'm
know.
trading.
So I can tell
All right.
everybody
So
where
now
to
for
connect
this
with you.
point, at this point right here,
Once you are done connecting, type on the comment
well, let's
section.
leave. Let's just focus. Let's just go forward, right? Let's just go forward. So I'll just tell you more things at the front. Now, this price we already passed through. Is let me take this one forward like this. You
Hello
understand?
guys,
So this
how
is
you
where the price
doing?
currently is.
Once you are
Now
done
I realized
connecting,
that
type
this
on the comment
price might
section.
not come to this trend line again. Why did I realize that? Because on this 15 minutes time frame, this is where I make my entry. That is why I'm making this explanation here. Do you understand? I already sorry.
Once you are done connecting, please type down in the comment section. Guys, connect with each other, guys. Connect. Connect with each other, guys. Connect.
So
Once
as
you
I
are
was
done
saying,
connecting, guys, please type down on the
I
comment
already
section.
did all my analysis from the daily
Type down
to
on
the
the
four
comment section,
hours
guys. Once you are done connecting.
to the 1 hour to the 15 minutes, right? All right. So on this 15 minutes,
Sammy,
I already made my first entry at this point, right? Now, to get any more entries on this 15 minutes, this is what I'm going to be doing, right? As time goes on. Remember, I'm prioritizing what? The first thing is what? Now, these rules I'm saying, yes, this rules I'm saying is
put that cut to your side.
So this rule I'm saying is based off risk management.
doing fine. I'm doing fine.
You understand?
I'm doing fine. Ìjàgboro, ìjàgboro,
Can you hear me?
ìjàgboro,
So this risk I'm saying is based off risk management. Like all these rules I'm saying. First, I'm prioritizing what will make me lose. Remember, even
Guys, please connect
if I
to
don't follow
everybody
this
in the
rule,
box.
I might remember you can see when the price came here, even if it didn't give us a bullish engulfing, it still bought, right? It still bought higher. You can see when the price came here,
Laris, please
it
connect
didn't
to
give us any
Sandy.
bullish engulfing
Connect
candidate,
to
but it
Sandy
still
while
bought, right? You understand? But I'm not
cheapest,
looking at
cheapest,
whether it's
please
going to
there.
buy. It might buy, yes, give enough pips and so on
Please
like that.
connect to
But
everybody,
I'm
cheapest.
focused on
Connect.
some things, right? If I don't see those things, I'm not entering. The price, if the price likes, let it go, right? That's what I'm looking at. It can go,
Sam Lord, thank you for joining. As
give
I join you, please
some number
connect
of
with everybody
pips.
in the box.
Anybody that enters it make profit from it. But I'm focused on this simple rules, right? If I don't see it, I'm not trading it. But if I see it, that's when I take the risk. Right. So let's say I made the chart at this point. What I have to do is remember the first thing I'm prioritizing when I'm making the chart. One that will make me lose one by one. Now, if I'm looking at what will make me lose, that's when I'll take the other one serious. The other one serious. The second one is what? Looking if my trend line fits with my support or psychology level or higher level of the week, right? Remember, my trend line is working over time. That's why I'm looking at my trend line. So I can draw a trend line from here, from this point, like
Connect with
this,
everybody, guys.
right?
Connect with everybody.
I can draw it like this, right?
Uwama,
Because why? Why am I drawing a trend line like this?
Uwama.
Because
Sam Lord,
I've
Sam Lord,
gotten
please connect
this
with
first
everybody
move
in the
that
box.
happened there, and I realized
Sam
that
Lord,
I'm
connect
getting
with
a new low
everybody.
here, and the price is going up, right?
Uwama.
The price is going higher. You can see the price came again to around this
Ayama,
point, which can make
Awama,
me, when I see something like this, I can come
Awama,
and draw a new trend line again,
Awama,
like this.
Awama,
I can say, okay, it has given me a new
Awama.
one here. Let me draw a new trend line. You understand? This is what I can be doing right
Sam
now.
Lord,
Whenever I do something like
guys,
this,
please, everybody in the box,
that
connect with
okay,
Sam
this
Lord.
price came,
Connect
give
with
me a new
Sam
high.
Lord.
I drew a trend line like this. It gave me a new one here again. I draw a
Check
new
on the
trend line
comment
like
section.
this.
You see Sam Lord. Please connect with him.
So that is what I'll be doing to catch other trades as the price is moving towards that trend. Do you understand? Now, after drawing a trend line like this, remember
Miss Favor,
by rule number
thank you for
two,
joining.
make sure I'm looking at my trend line
Miss Favor,
together with a
please connect
support
with
zone or my trend line together with a psychology level, right? So now this is my psychology level around here. Remember, is the difference of 20, 40, 60, 60, 80. So this is it.
Sam
This
Lord, Miss Favor, please connect with
2060.
everybody in the box. Guys, please connect with Miss Favor. You guys should connect with Miss Favor.
60.
Blessing, blessing,
Now
blessing.
because of
Are you
that,
there?
I can be able to place a trade from here, from this point here.
Okay, two blessings. The two
Do you understand?
blessings, please.
Can
The
be able
two
to place a
blessings,
trade
please
from
connect
here.
with everybody in the box.
Why am I placing a trade from here? Because number one,
Blessing IKB, please connect with
I can
everybody
either
in the
place it
box.
from here, from here.
Connect with everybody. So
Why can I
everybody
place
can
it
connect
from
from
here?
the back.
Because number one, I'm having psychology level here, right?
God,
I'm having a trend
God.
line here, and I'm having what? A bullish engulfing here.
Blessing, please connect with Scott.
Do you understand? This is it. I'm having a psychology
T-Best,
level here.
T-Best,
I'm
are you
having a
there?
trend line. I'm having a bullish engulfing right here.
T-Best, are you
Do you
there?
understand? So whenever I see this bullish engulfing, and I'm seeing I'm already saw a trend
T-Best,
line. I already saw a psychology level, and now I'm seeing a bullish engulfing. That gives me what? Confidence that okay, apart from the fact that
Sam
I've seen
Lord,
my
you
trend
can
line
let me
and my
know if you
psychology
come up
level,
now. I
I've seen
try.
my means
Okay,
to enter,
Sam Lord, wait,
right?
hold
So
up.
I can
I'll
make
add you
an
now.
entry from here after this
I'll
bullish
add you now,
engulfing
Sam Lord.
has formed.
No
On the next
problem.
candlestick, which is this one, upon the formation, I can just come here, place a trade, right? My stop loss is going to be below this bullish engulfing that is here, around this point,
Poema,
right?
blessing.
I can give you some breathing
Poema,
space because of this low that happened
please
here.
connect with everybody in
This
the
is the
box. Connect
low
with
that
everybody.
it
Connect
gave
with Scott.
before the
Connect with
bullish
Sammy.
engulfing.
Connect it to our wrist. Connect it to his
So I
favor.
can put my
Connect
stop
it to
around here.
his best.
My take profit is gonna be one
Yes,
ratio
are you
two, one
there?
ratio three, one ratio four.
I think she's sleeping. If you're not sleeping, just say something in the comment section so I'll know you are here.
So this is gonna be like a small move. Now another place I can make
I
another
think she's
entry.
sleeping.
Whenever price comes to trend line
You can join
again,
us
I
later.
want to make another entry again, which is around this point. This point, let me close this one like this. And I can see this point, the price came to trend line again
Please
around
connect
here.
it to call my
And
blessing.
up around
Please
this
connect
zone,
it
it gave
to
us a bullish
Connect it to
engulfing
her.
as
Connect
well.
it to her.
Let
She
me
has
see
connected
psychology
everybody.
level. I don't think it's close to
Connect
psychology
with
level.
blessing. Connect with her.
It's not close to psychology
IDK.
level, but
Connect with
it's close to a
IDK.
support zone.
Only Sado. O block. Only Sado. Guys, please
Now this
connect
is
with those
psychology
guys.
level
It's
up
just
here,
coming up
but
now.
my
Connect with
touching
her.
happened here, right?
O block. Connect with everybody.
Do you understand? This is where it happened, and I'm having a bullish engulfing
O block.
candlestick.
Connect with everybody, please.
Now,
Connect with everybody.
added to my
Once you
trend
are
line,
done,
I
type
can
done
also
on the
have
comment section.
a support zone here, right?
Yeah, but at least I
Remember,
see
I'm
you.
looking
I
at
see you.
trend line with support zone, or trend line with
Once you
psychology
have done
level, or trend
collecting,
line with
type on the
support and
comment
psychology
section
level,
done.
or with
Okay,
high
come
and
and
low of the
bless
week.
you. Guys, please follow come
Now,
and bless
you
you.
can see what happened here, right? Okay, that means there's a
Connect
zone
with
here.
Pelumi page. Connect with
You can
Pelumi
see the
page.
zone, the resistance zone. It broke it, converted into support zone, go higher. Do you understand? So I can
Connect,
place
guys.
this
Connect,
trade based
connect,
off
connect.
this support zone
Connect
and
with
trend line.
Pelumi. Connect with Pelumi.
But trend line must be there.
Guys, connect with Pelumi
So
page.
after the formation of this bullish candlestick, I'll just come on the next candlestick, place my trade. My stop loss is going to be below this zone, like this.
Connect with Pelumi
And
page.
my take profit is going to be 1:2, 1:3 or more. So whenever price comes to trend line again, I'm waiting. You can see when the price came here, it
Blessing.
broke it
Come and
downwards.
blessing. Please connect
Now
with
you can
Pelumi
see
page.
why I said I minimize my loss, right? Now this is one reason why I minimize my loss. You can see when the price
Are you
came
done
here,
connecting? Blessing.
I can't be entering this trade. Do you
Okay,
understand
blessing
why? Why
IDK.
can't I
Connect with
be entering
Pelumi
this
page.
trade? Remember, the trade number one, the trade is what on the psychology level. Number two, the trade is what close to this. Sorry, the trade is on the trend line. Number one, number two, the trade is close to the psychology level. But why won't I enter this trade? Why? Just tell me why.
If
From
you
what
are
I've
done,
explained
say
so
done
far,
on the comment section.
why won't I enter this trade?
Type done on the comment section.
Yes, this one that
Connect
is
with
happening on this
Pelumi
trend line
page.
currently. This one here. The number one, the trade is on a psychology level, which can make me enter. Number two, the trade is close
Connect,
to.
connect, connect
Sorry,
with
the
Pelumi
number one, the
page.
trade is on a
Are
trend
you
line, which
done?
can make me enter, which is my number one rule. Once the trade comes to trend line, I want to be
You see
entering.
one plus
But
sign.
when I see psychology level
You see
close to
one
it
plus
or
sign on his box.
a
Just click the
support
plus
zone,
sign. It's not
it
hard.
gives me more confidence to want to enter that trade. Now, but I want to be enter this trade, entering this trade here.
Can you
Why
hear
won't I be
me?
entering this trade right here from at this point?
Guys, try to connect with each other now. Connect. That's what we are doing here.
No, no, no. No,
If you don't want to
I'm
connect,
not
you can
looking at
just
the
leave the
break.
box.
I might enter this
Others
trade
can
and
come
still
and
lose.
connect. If you
It's
don't want to
fine,
connect,
right?
just leave the box.
But one thing will not make me enter this trade at this
Leave it
point.
by force.
Just one thing I'm looking at. Just one particular thing. Yes, candlestick formation. Yes, candlestick formation. That's just the one thing I'm looking at. Because if I see that candlestick formation happening here, bullish engulfing candlestick, I can enter this trade and willingly lose.
Oh,
Do you
block. Have you
understand?
connected everybody in the box?
I can enter this trade and willingly lose because all my conferences
Oh,
are already
block.
what met. Because I already prioritize what will
Oh,
make me
block.
lose
Connect
by
everybody.
looking
Connect,
for that
connect.
particular thing. Do you understand?
Start from Sammy to
So,
connect.
but
Connect to Sammy,
if I see
connect to
that okay,
Paris,
didn't give
connect
me,
to
I can
Scott.
still draw a
Connect to
new trend line
Samuel.
like this and
Pelumi
say,
page.
okay,
You call him a
this
blessing
is
now.
my
The
new
blessing
trend
I
line.
give you.
Now the price is currently on trend line. Am I seeing a bullish engulfing candlestick? That's what I'll ask myself. If you look at this is giving me this two is having almost the same height, right? They're having almost the same height, but before that two was formed, I saw a bullish engulfing candlestick happening around here. This is a bullish engulfing candlestick happening here, right? And remember why I prioritize that bullish engulfing candlestick is because I'm seeing it. You can see this is a trend line move, trend
If I
line.
love you, no do
Do you understand?
me.
This is a
Oh,
trend line
no,
move, right?
no, no do me.
Do you understand? This is a trend line move.
Guys, share the live, guys. Share the live, guys. Sam Lord, I cite you. Thank you for the share.
All
How
right.
does that side you?
This is a trend line move, right? So because of this is a trend line move, number one. Number
Who is
two,
not connecting?
I'm
Who is not
saying
connecting?
that
You
it's
guys
giving me a
tell me
bullish
so I can
engulfing
mention the
candlestick
person.
here. Number three,
Oh
it needs to meet something
no.
else, right?
Who is
Psychology
not
level or
connecting?
support and
Type the
resistance.
person's name on the comment
Now,
section.
there's a psychology level down here, which is likely to what affect the price move around this point, right? Which is likely to affect the price around this point. That is the three
Who
reasons
is not
why I
connecting,
would go
guys?
for this
Tell me
trade.
so I can mention the
Number one,
person.
trend line. Number two, the psychology level here,
Yeah.
which is likely to affect the price move around this point, right? And number three, that's number two. Now, number three is what this bullish engulfing candlestick that happened here. So I'm going
Who
to be
wants
placing
coin?
this trade
Let's level
based
up,
off
please.
these things.
Oh.
Now look at it. After the bullish engulfing candlestick, on the formation of this next candlestick, I'm going to
Let,
place my
let me see,
entry.
let me see, let me
Put
see.
my stop
Let me
loss
see.
below this zone. This zone here, you can see there's a
Who has
hesitation
coin
happening
here so
here,
we can level up? Who has coin?
like a support zone happening there, right? I'll place my trade based off these things,
Anybody
and
here?
that is what I'll be doing. Now, you can see
Anybody
right
here?
here. Let me do two more examples, then go to the
Who
live
got
chat.
coin? Who got coin so we can level up?
Now you can see right here, when the price came down here, right, to this trend line, I'm supposed to make an entry right here, right? Let me draw a psychology level.
One biggest, please connect with everybody in the box. Connect with everybody in the box.
280, next one will be 3000, sorry, not
Once you are
3000,
done, please type down on the comment section
2100,
so that we are going to
2100,
know.
psychology level.
One biggest, please
Now you can
connect
see
back
when the
with
price came
Paris.
here, you can see number one, I'm having what? I'm having what? A trend line, right? Number two, I'm having what? A psychology level. Number one is trend line, right? Number two is what? Psychology level. Yes. Now you can see I already have two met, right? Two is already met. That means I can buy from here. Do you understand? I can buy from here because I have what? Psychology level and trend line. But what's the last thing I'm looking for?
One biggest, please connect, connect.
What's the last thing I'm looking for?
You know they do
Can
connect
you
with
hear me?
everybody.
Can you hear me?
Okay, nice, nice, nice. Guys,
Hello,
keep
can you hear
connecting,
me?
keep connecting with each other, keep connecting. Share the live, guys, share the live.
Can you hear me? All right. I think this is network.
Everybody, please connect with one biggest. Connect with him, connect with him. Everybody in the comment section, please connect with one biggest.
All right, welcome back. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I realized I stopped hearing your voice. Can you hear me now? All right. So, any question before we continue?
Wonder, please connect back.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, no yawa, no yawa. I
Okay,
greet
let
you too.
me
I greet you too,
stop
boss.
sharing and share again.
Please connect with everybody in the box. O block, please,
Has it
as you are
stopped
connecting,
sharing?
connect with everybody in the box. O block.
Can you see it now?
Once you are done, please type on the comment section. Say done. Type done once you
Can you
are
hear
done.
me?
O block, O block. Connect back. Connect, connect, connect. O block. Once you are done connecting, type done on the comment section. Connect with Waris, Waris. Connect with Waris. on the third box. Wonder connect. O block. Connect with everybody, O block. Nwanne m ịkọtara m ije oge ọhụụ bịa nara m ego dịka m ji bịa ga-anyọzi gị biko oge ọhụụ bịa nara m ego dịka m ji bịa ga-anyọzi gị biko gwọ m ụgwọ m bịa gwọ m ụgwọ m mụ na-ayọzi gị biko nga mkpọrọkpọ n'ọnụ na-akwụ ụgwọ afara ọ blọkọọla ihe ọma mmere ya n'ikpeazụ ọnọrọ m ego igbochi bịa iweọnụ ọnọrọ m ego ịgaji bịa biko gwọmụgwọ m bịa gwọmụgwọ m gwọmụgwọ m bịa gwọmụgwọ m. Which app do you use?
Meat.
Let's do let's prepare video app.
Alright, so this is basically what I'll be doing. Alright, this is basically what I'll be doing, looking at these three major things, which I consider risk management, like power of risk management. So if I don't see these three things, I'm not buying. For the sale aspect, I'll be using the downwards trend line, right? If I don't see these three things for the downwards trend line, I'm not selling.
Yes.
So these are basically it.
Yes.
These are basically it. So same thing here. This trend line can come here. This is also, if I zoom it out, so that's it right there with the bullish engulfing. So I can make my entry here and then alright.